Hey guys, Travis here, and today I want to be talking to you about something that's been really on my mind most lately, and that is Bernie Sanders' plan for free medical care and free education. Now, let me tell you this right now. Never in my entire life did I ever think that giving free healthcare and free education to people who can't afford it was a bad thing. When the United States of America is spending billions and billions of dollars on military budget for a war that's probably never going to happen, and even if it does happen, they're well equipped and well armed enough to be able to take care of that if the situation comes. Now, Bernie Sanders has made some very good choices. He's made some very decent choices. But all these conservative rich people that have been able to afford the insulin, the medical care, I mean, that's why, people like Donald Trump is still living at 70 odd years old when he looks like he's about to collapse. But the thing is, the one thing I'll never understand is that why do everybody think that giving away free healthcare and free education is a bad thing? Because here it is now. If you're a single parent, you got to work two jobs to feed your family, and literally, you can't even afford to pay that. Because here it is now. If you're paying so much for food, you ain't got enough to pay the heat. You ain't got enough to pay for the dentist. You ain't got to pay enough for medical care. I mean, here it is now in Canada. We have good health care. Me with my medication. If I need medication and it's on insurance, I got it. It's covered. It's taken care of. I mean, the worst thing that you need is for somebody who has cancer, who has diabetes, who has liver disease, who has very, very bad, serious conditions of illness that need these life saving medications and they can't afford to pay it. Because if they try to spend their money on these medications, they're not going to be able to eat. They're not going to be able to pay the rent because the price of medications in the United States has gone through the roof. The thing is, the United States of America needs to cut their budget for the military in half in order to make sure that people will be able to live. What all these rich people that, like, for instance, I've seen people like Tito Ortiz, like Kevin Nash, like all of these people who are very, very wealthy men say, why should we give away everything for free? It's easy for them to say because they have the money. They can afford their medications. Kevin Nash has gone through so many surgeries because of his knees and wrestling and career, but he was always able to afford it because he was smart with his money when he made a lot of money, but he has a lot of money. When you're a single parent who's raising a couple of kids on minimum wage you can't even get a cup of soup in some places, you're more or less worried. And here it is now. Say, for instance, the kids nowadays that are living in poverty, they do manage to go on to college. They can't afford to go to college. They can't afford to go to the local college. The thing is, Cuba has done the proper right thing for God knows how many years. They've given away free healthcare and free education to those who need it. And the literacy rate in Cuba has gone through the roof. More and more doctors, more and more teachers have been trained, more and more people have been educated. And even though, because of the blockade the United States has put against Cuba, yeah, doctors are making more money working on the resorts than they are actually being doctors. But Cuba actually sends them away to be doctors in other places, and that's where they're getting paid. The fact of the matter is, we need to understand that people before profit. And I hope Bernie Sanders gets elected, and I hope Donald Trump is gone forever, and I hope to God that things work out the way they're supposed to be. Because what's the point? You get an education and you get a good job. What's the point of getting an education if you can't afford the medicine? And what's the point of paying for medicine when you can't afford education? These are the things that needs to be looked at and taken care of right away. Bernie Sanders, 2020.